Welcome everyone to the Geeky Robots podcast. My name is Miguel from the Geeky Robots, and I am joined here today with...
My name is Marco with the Geeky Robots.
And I am Eddie Lovecraft. I'm kind of from everywhere.
Just a little bit of everything, right? So you are joined here today to watch the first episode or first official episode of its kind, not because something like this has been done before. I think it has been done before, but not with us. So... sit back, enjoy, and listen to episode 1 of the Geeky...
He had it.
Of the Geeky Robots podcast.
You gotta keep it. You gotta keep it. You gotta
I know you gotta do it. You know what I messed up.
You gotta keep
I
it.
just gotta
You gotta keep it. No, you gotta keep it.
I'm sorry. I messed up. I'm new to this. The Geeky Robots podcast.
Hit the music. All right, so we're here at the Geeky Robots. You guys have been a blast at all the cons. People love to see you. You guys sell billions and billions of socks, and in fact, are there any new socks that people should keep an eye out on?
Well, I think the fun thing about the Geeky Robots booth and as well as the business is we always have constantly new styles of socks. So every time you come by, even if you've been with us and been following us for our entire journey, you'll always find something new at the booth.
Yeah, I think a good idea would be to show the drip, and we're going to show the drip right now from people from all the conventions.
Let's see what we got. What we got? Oh man, we got the drip over here. Wait. Oh man. Wait. You got it too? Oh man. Wait. Another one? Oh my god.
Oh my god. She's got the drip. The drip. Oh my god. Yes. She's got the drip. Oh my god.
All right, so that was awesome seeing everyone showing off like all the different socks that they've gotten over the time, and even seeing some of the new ones. And I'm really excited about like the ankle socks that we have, and looking forward to see what we can find as far as different styles. So the moment I've been waiting for, because you guys know how I feel about this topic, the Batman.
The Batman.
So I was able to see it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Rob?
I'm going to give it the score ahead of time. I have a lot of good things to say about it. I do have some bad things to say about it, but I give a really good score. I give it an 8 out of 10 because I think this is the best Batman depiction of the comic books.
Okay. All right. Miguel?
So, full disclaimer, guys, I have passed the 7-day grace period for spoilers. So, and have not watched it. So I'm gonna sit here and take it like a champ, take these spoilers, and I'm still gonna enjoy the movie.
Well, the good thing about the movie, to be honest with you though, is you can talk about the movie without really spoiling it. And for everyone that's like a big movie person, right? The best way you can describe this movie, you take the Zodiac with Robert Downey Jr. I want to say Mark Ruffalo's in there. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Then you have the movie Seven with
absolutely.
Bruce Willis and Morgan Freeman, the detective and the killer that was really like religious and stuff. It was like those movies met, had a baby, and then you have the Batman trying to solve the crime. That's the best way to put it. And Eddie gave it an 8, and I would have to go there and say 8.5. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I'm with you. It took it back to more so of the comic books, like Batman being the world's greatest detective.
Yeah.
And I'll let Eddie talk about some of the things that he liked about the movie and some of the things he didn't like. And I've heard some of the different things people didn't like about the movie. And what I'm going to do is make a twist and change it into how it was a positive for the movie more than people think. So go ahead.
No, like you said, there is a lot of positive things, but there are things that I can look at and be like, Now it's funny that you said that about like someone told me about the Zodiac thing, right? And they said that the Riddler was based off the Zodiac.
That's correct.
Killer. I had no idea that was a thing, but yeah, I've seen the Zodiac movie, back in the days, and I know that he has the best riddle that no one has ever been able to crack. It's a real killer, but in this case, it's the Riddler. But we do see Riddler in a more, I guess, chaotic, crazy kind of person. He wasn't like that, and I remember it in the cartoon or the comic book. I always felt like he was like a second-rate kind of bad guy, but he was very beatable by the Batman. But this one, he's a better foe, I would say. I'm glad that you said like the movie Seven, and you mentioned like I felt it was a very '90s movie. Like the music. They even had like a Nirvana song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I heard that's the last Nirvana song that was ever made, to what I've been told. But the colors had a lot of grit to it. It was very Seven, and it had a little bit of Fight Club into it. Just had those colors, took me back. Now, like good things, bad things. I guess let's talk really quick about Robert Pattinson as the Batman. All right. So it comes down to, a lot of people did not want to see him as Batman. I was for it. I know you and I had talked about it before that, we know a lot of people did not want to see Heath Ledger as the Joker, but a lot of people don't want to see Mr. Twilight as Batman, but he nailed it.
Nailed it.
It's really good. I will say that, size-wise, he's not like a big, scary person, but he has a good jaw structure. He had a great voice. One voice that I hate a lot is Christian Bale's voice. It just seems like a forced parody of what is Batman. And since we're going to a little parody section, Miguel, I do want to get you into this conversation. What did you think of Christian Bale's Batman?
Actually, Christian Bale is one of my favorite Batmans, and I do have to agree. The voice is a little cringe, but I feel the reason why I gravitated so much to Christian Bale's Batman is because I feel that Christian Bale was able to balance what is Bruce Wayne and Batman so perfectly, in the charisma, in the sort of like reserved, mysterious kind of billionaire. And I think that he definitely, Christian Bale was able to portray that very, very well. And I don't think so much of the actor, the Batman, but the direction that Christopher Nolan took. One of my favorite directors is Christopher Nolan. And I think that it was such a grounded Batman that dialed back special effects. He didn't use so many special... it was all practical effects, real sets, real explosions, very little CGI. It helped it feel like it was something that happens in your backyard. This happened in Chicago,
Yeah. Like I do think I think the best movie is still that Joker one, the Dark Knight with Heath Ledger and Christian Bale. I do not think Christian Bale is the best Batman though. I think he's a really good Bruce Wayne, but a Batman I feel like he's trying to force who he is. He's got a great look. But his acting, which is weird because he's such a good actor in all these other movies that he's done, from American Psycho and all these other crazy ones, like he lost all his weight on The Machinist, but he just could not nail the Batman.
The Machinist. Yeah, no, the machine. Oh, that was really good. I would have to say best Batman voice. I have to give that to Ben Affleck's Batman. And the reason why is because to me, that seemed like the most practical thing to do was to use a voice changer.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you mentioned how, you brought up the voice and whatnot. And Robert Pattinson, because I watched a lot of interviews of it because I'm really into the franchise. And he even talked about how he tried to mimic Christian Bale's Batman, and people literally told him, the director Matt Reeves or whatever, he was like, no. They flat out told him, don't do that.
I'm glad they told him that.
So it was all post-production kind of thing, like the voice alteration?
No.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I wouldn't know, to be honest with you.
It's his real voice, but he oddly did to say he has a good voice as Batman.
Yeah.
But I think we should all play a little game. And we should all try to do the Christian Bale Batman voice. Starting with Miguel. Okay. Miguel, let's hear it.
Where is he? That's always the one line where he just like snaps off on the Joker.
Okay.
All right, wait. Maybe we should change the game, and you have to say something ridiculous, like ordering a pizza or calling in 911 or something.
I want. Now I'm doing something else. Pepperoni pizza.
We did order pizza before we started doing this, so we're all getting bloated right now, but it was totally worth it. All right, Marco, let's hear your Batman.
All right. Where's the peanut butter? Where is it? You wouldn't just leave it in any aisle. Where's the Jiffy Creamy?
Oh God!
All right, Rob, you're up.
Oh man, you guys are great Batmans. You guys are giving Christian Bale a run for his money. I gotta say. All right, let's do one. You're watching the Geeky Robots. Y'all better buy some socks. $5. $5 now. The drip.
You know,
The drip. Where's the drip? Where's the drip? Man, we're gonna lose our voices on that one.
You know, it's funny as you bring up the voice because, and if you don't mind, Rob, getting your opinion on it since you watched the movie, people complained about Robert Pattinson not talking too much. And the Batman was one of those movies because remember it's a detective movie, so you got to watch like all the nonverbal cues. I give you a perfect example. One of the scenes when you go on to the very first murder scene of the Riddler, Batman is walking around. Fans are saying, "Yo, he wasn't really talking that much." Well, you had to follow him. Perfect scene. He's walking around a crime scene. He's not talking to the cops, right? Mm-hmm. And he's walking, but he's telling the crime scene investigators what to take photos of without even saying a word to them. Because remember, the lady missed the blood stain that was on the floor. He literally just walks past, he looks down, he doesn't say nothing to her. She looks at him, looks at what he's looking at, she takes a picture. And there are scenes throughout the movie of him not really speaking like that.
But he's doing detective work.
He's doing detective work, but it's nonverbal. And you have to be, very observant to catch on to what he's looking. So in a way, he's helping the police by still allowing them to do their jobs and not taking any of the credit. So, people had issues with that. What Rob, you brought up him not being physically imposing. Well, this is year 2 Batman.
Yeah.
So he's only year 2 in. So people have to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
That was,
Well, really quick, I would just say that I know it's a year 2 Batman, and that's why I like Pattinson as the Batman. Mm-hmm. You don't want the incredibly intimidating giant of a beast of a Batman. So we get a younger looking one, even though I know Pattinson's not a young person. Mm-hmm. He has that young energy, has a young face. But I will say he was still a very incredible detective. Even though he was kind of new to the Batman role. Mm-hmm. He's only a 2-year-old Batman, but still proving he's a badass, you know? Now, other things, I want to say this really quick, and I think we should move on to Catwoman. Okay. I think that Robert Pattinson, I think he's a terrific Batman. I do want to see what he's going to do in, movie 2, movie 3. If it keeps going, of course he's going to keep going. Yeah. But I will say the team around him knew what to do with him. All right, it's we're hearing some moans over here, so we want to show everyone the Robert Pattinson's biggest fan. All right, this is Robert Pattinson's biggest fan. Say hi to the camera. Say hi to the camera. This is Sophie. All right, Sophie, let's hear your Batman impression, okay?
I'm Batman.
And then, real quick. I know we said we're going to move on to Catwoman, but Miguel mentioned something about being Christopher Nolan's being grounded, right? Uh-huh. And I think you'll appreciate this scene because it did have its funny moments too, right? Mm-hmm. And Sophie agrees. So you said grounded, right? Realistic. So there was a scene where, and you see it in the trailer, but it happens real quick, where you see Batman zip past a window, right? Okay. Well, what happened was he was running from the cops. I'm not going to spoil, but he was running from the cops. He jumps off the building. Super cool part is it wasn't him like the Batman flare that we used to. he was using a parajumper suit.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
So it was incredible.
So it was like tactical.
You wouldn't expect him to be in a parajump. I don't know the right thing. So people who actually do it.
Squirrel glider.
Right, yeah. So people who actually do it, you can flame me in the comments, but I don't know what the name is. But it's a parajumper suit. And you see him actually do it. Like he inflates it and jumps.
That looked like a real scene.
Yeah, it looked like a real scene.
Yeah.
And then the great part is, I know Chicago whenever I see it. I am born and raised from Chicago, and I knew some of those scenes was filmed in Chicago. So see the credits to say that some of the scenes was filmed in Chicago, I know Chicago when I see it. But it was funny because he mistimed it, and he smacked his face on the edge of a bridge, hits a semi-truck, and then he falls into a pile of garbage.
So that would be our Batman rookie mistake.
Yeah. So I had his funny stuff, which was great. But Catwoman. How did you think Zoe Kravitz did?
All right, Catwoman. Now, Zoe Kravitz, she's very feline-like naturally. She's just kind of like mysterious. She's got great cheek structure, so she looks like a drawing from the comic book. So I think she has a very perfect face for Catwoman when it comes down to the character. Now, how does she act as her? I think she kind of missed the mark in some senses. This might sound bad, but I had to kind of look at who was the best Catwoman. The best Catwoman was Michelle Pfeiffer. She had a lot of sex appeal. And I would say no matter what Catwoman did, she would walk, she would turn, she would say something. Every time you saw her, she was in that cat movement. You saw that, and that was Catwoman. At least, that's what you see that, and now everybody, you have to compare all the Catwomans to her. So, what is it, Zoe? Sometimes she was, and other times I feel like she would just kind of get lumpy, or kind of just walk normal, or kind of just bounce around, and she did kind of lost that feline characteristics. So I felt like she did not hit the mark on her body movement. What do you think, Marco?
Yeah, I could see what you mean by that. It was parts of the movie where she had that sex appeal, that mysteriousness about her, that flirtatiousness, and then there were other parts of the film where she didn't. And even in those parts, I can understand why, because she was trying to figure out what she was trying to figure out. And that's one of the things that I liked about the movie, was the fact that the Riddler was uncovering things of his own. And that's what made the movie so compelling, because he was trying to reveal something about the corruptness in Gotham his way. And then you have Batman doing it his way. And then just the mind blown moment at the end where the Riddler is like, well, you was working with me the whole time. And it's like, we don't realize it until he points out how the Batman was working with him in real time. And we'll just leave it at that. But it was a good movie. I am down to see it a second time. I will sit through that 2 hours and 56 minutes again, Miguel. So we have to get a time and day to go see that, so that way you can share your thoughts on it.
Yeah,
I agree. And what I would love to see, especially for our audience, is what do you think about the movie? Especially, hearing it, it's almost 3 hours long. I mean, did it feel like 3 hours? Did it go by quickly? Did it drag on? Or do you feel like it was a nice beginning, middle, and end movie?
Go ahead, Marco.
Well, no, it didn't feel like 3 hours at all. It didn't feel long. I was surprised how fast it appeared to me that it went by. I had at the whim, the night that came out, got one ticket for 10 o'clock at night, went there. Movie started about 10:45, previews and all that stuff, trailers, And next thing you know, I'm looking, I'm like, oh, wow, it's 1 o'clock. I could have, watched more of it. So I will have to say, and then we'll talk about this later, but I will have to say DC once again has given us a very long movie that spaced well and didn't feel like it was a long movie.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think I'm almost there, but not. I feel like the last maybe 45 minutes kind of sorry about the phone call, everybody.
Oh,
I'm a popular kind of guy.
Oh,
Eddie's just very popular.
man.
So basically, I felt like the first 2 hours, were solid. I would say the last arc, I feel like it didn't hit where it should have hit. There were some things I was just like, why would they do that? As in, I felt like where it could have climaxed, they did that. They didn't get there because should we say the spoiler or no? No, we'll keep it subtle. But the final battle, the final battle should have been versus someone else as opposed to what we got.
Okay, I know what you're talking about, but I will have to say, outside of Batman versus Superman warehouse fight scene, I will have to. You got a very unhinged Batman. Robert Pattinson character in this one is trying to get the hang of being Batman. People say that him being Bruce Wayne, he was kind of emo. Well, if you think about it, he's a billionaire that's been cooped up in his house for God who knows how many years, really doesn't socialize. And throughout the movie, they make it a point to emphasize how much he does not socialize with civilization and in Gotham at all. It was a repeated thing. So for people who complained about him being emo, like they were telling you why he was emo in the movie. So just my thoughts. I will have to say, yes, I was expecting it to be against somebody else, but those people are very much in pain. There was moments where even people in the audience, we were like cringing, like, ooh, that hurt. Like, oh, man, bro, like, so yeah.
Well, I think, we could talk about this movie for hours. That's what I like about the movie is that you can talk about it for a very long time, which means it is a good movie. It's a great movie. Everyone should watch it. There's just some things that I do have little complaints about. I think we should throw those out there because then you can question it or disagree about it. And I think the last thing I would like to share about it before we move to our next topic, I think that Matt Reeves, the director. Okay, so as I saw the movie, I liked it because it had elements of all the other Batmans prior. Right, it had a lot of elements of '90s movies. And I had a lot of I saw like a homage to all the Batmans I like. Like I saw a Zack Snyder within it, which was like the when you first see the Batman, they had like close-ups, blurry background. It was very cinematic. And then I saw a lot of like the Dark Knight in there, just gritty, like Batman just punching the heck out of somebody. And it was just a lot of elements of what we love. Right, so that's why I made it like, oh yeah, I like it a lot because it has everything I like from all the previous Batmans. But with that, I don't see the signature style of the director within the movie. I see a bunch of different directors work within it, but I don't understand what Matt Reeves' style is or his signature. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I'm still confused about that. Like, who is Matt Reeves? What is his style? In fact, I even looked on Google to see what other movies he did, and all his movies are a bunch of movies. Like, I could not pinpoint that it's the same director ever. Okay, like when I see a Christopher Nolan movie, I know it's a Christopher Nolan movie
because he's gonna make you think, and the visuals, and he's really gonna make you think.
Yeah, when I see a Zack Snyder movie, I expect the slow motion, I expect the cinematic looks. When I see a Tim Burton movie, I know I want to see that fairy tale, that fun music, dark music. I know who they are. Matt Reeves, I still don't know, and I don't know if that's a good thing or if it's a bad thing.
I think it's a good thing because he could just be a mix of all of them and be like a hybrid and just like, hey, he could just be like that, Frankenstein as it were, and just, hey, I could take all these elements, mush them together, make this whole thing where it's just like, yo, what if all of them came together and directed this movie? Yeah, this is how it could work. So I think it could be a good
positive thing. Yeah, I thought about it at first. I wasn't too sure, but then I thought maybe the chameleon of everything could basically take parts of everything that's awesome and make the perfect movie. So maybe Matt Reeves will become the chameleon movie of perfection one day.
So I know you didn't see it, Miguel, and it was kind of just me and Rob talking there. We apologize, but once you see the movie, you're gonna just be like, okay, I understand why that segment was like as long as it worked. Yeah. And you're going to come in like, yo, bro. And then we're going to have your 15-minute.
And then I'm going to have a monologue. I'm going to just grab the mic, have a solo and be like, guys, look into the camera and be like, that Batman movie.
So Miguel, you should definitely take us into our next topic.
By the way, guys, the Kenobi trailer dropped from when we're filming this like 2 days ago. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
All right, guys, what do you think? None of us have seen the Kenobi trailer, so let's go ahead and do a first reaction with our geek vision, and let's watch that Kenobi trailer.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this because I actually haven't seen the trailer either. I just found out about it a couple of days ago.
You know, my
The fight is done.
my name used to be Obi Wan Baloney.
We lost.
So this takes place between episodes 3 and 4. He just lost his Padawan,
Oh,
who
okay.
became the Sith.
Look at this nerd.
Stay hidden.
Oh, he's looking at Luke. Because he has to keep an eye on Luke.
That's what he does on episode 1.
The music!
I know, right?
The music is from the prequel!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Hunting.
I will have to say that was still the best
Duel of the
original
Fates.
soundtrack.
Duel of the
song, yeah.
Fates. Oh my
Streaming
god.
exclusively on Disney Plus.
Jedi cannot help what they are.
I'm gonna cry.
Compassion.
It just takes me back to that fight between Obi Wan and Darth Maul.
That's the father. Or the adoptive father of Luke.
Jedi code is like an itch. He cannot help it.
Oh my god. This is beautiful.
Where is he?
Okay.
Is that Blade Runner?
Stop!
That's gonna be good.
Oh my god.
That's gonna be so fire.
Nice.
And you can tell by the production they already.
No, but I'm glad they got like the actual actor from back in the days to be in it.
To come back, yeah.
Yeah, so you have
That-
Ewan McGregor. I never pronounce his name right. Ewan McGregor, I think it is.
McChicken.
Oh, don't grab my phone. So,
We're like holding hands there.
I
Like,
know, I'm like,
grab my hand. Grab my hand.
there's still hope. So really, and this is something that I genuinely feel almost, it's beautiful that we're exploring this because you don't get a lot of this exploration in this series, which is between episodes 3 and 4. I mean, we did have a lot of legends that came out with the video games and stuff, but you didn't get a lot of the exploration of Obi-Wan Kenobi was a master Jedi who lost his master to death, trained someone, and actually, and that's something that's not touched on a lot, Obi-Wan feels unworthy of training the chosen one. He feels like, I'm not enough to train him, and then sees him turn to the dark side.
Yeah.
And he's like, did I fail? Am I a failure? And now you have to watch over his son and make sure that the son is protected because that is the last chance.
Glimmer of hope, yeah.
It's the last glimmer of hope, which is A New Hope, which is episode 4. So we're finally seeing like that connected piece with the original actor from the prequels and the music.
Yeah, that music, yeah.
The music.
That took me back. I think episode 1. Let me see. Let me go back into my movie library because I'm a huge movie buff. I want to say it came out in 01.
1999, I think. Or 01.
No. I think I was still in the high school.
Yeah, I know. For sure, I wasn't in high school yet when it came out.
I think I was
seeing
5. So, it was
So
like
yeah,
1998,
1998, 99. I would
There's-
say.
99, yeah.
Was it 99? Because I
Yeah.
know the
It was
Matrix.
before 2000.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I wasn't in high school just yet. I know I was like, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Just hearing that background music, it took me automatically back to the fight scene, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn versus Darth Maul. And I remember that scene because the whole movie, when you saw Darth Maul fight them the first time in the desert, it was just like a regular lightsaber. And we're like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then when he just showed that it was a staff, I remember everyone in the movie theater lost their minds. Me, my older brothers, my dad, we all lost our minds in there. Like Trey and Eric, we lost it. It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
I will say like the mismarked. I'm like the bearer of bad news. I say the bad things, but like the green screen effects were very awkward back then. You know, it's like the mesh was weird, so a lot of weird things would happen while I was watching that movie. But I do want to say a funny story of episode 1. I went to the movie theater to watch it with my friend ElecTrish, who he's one of my co-hosts in another show that I do, which is Virtual Bar Hoppers, a drinking show. But
I like that show. It sounds like a good show to be a part of.
Right.
The funny thing is that me and ElecTrish, we went to the movies when we were still in high school, and we watched episode 1. And he's a huge fanatic of Star Wars. And I remember I was like, this is not as good as the original Star Wars movies, right? I was like, this is like a downgrade, right? So I watched the movie and I was like, I couldn't get on the bandwagon with what's his name, the guy that's a weirdo,
Jar Jar
right?
Binks,
Jar Jar, and the little weird war, and I was like, this is so goofy, right? I'll probably enjoy it more now than when I watched it. But the end of the movie happened. I don't even know what to say this, but it happened. Okay, ElecTrish gets up because he's a huge Star Wars fan. He stands up. I gotta bring the microphone with me. All right, he stands up and he starts clapping because it's the best movie he's ever seen. And all you hear in the background, someone goes, "Sit down, fat boy."
That's great. You know, it's funny that you bring up Jar Jar Binks because everybody hated that character. And this is going outside of Star Wars, but, you know, just different things I watch about different actor and actresses, how they play different characters in series and stuff, and it almost or did ruin their career. You know, that guy's never got a role in a movie ever since. Jar Jar Binks literally killed his career. And he talks about it. He was one of the most hated characters in movie history.
He's not even physically there. He's just a voice.
Yeah, but once people know who your name is, they just automatically hate you.
Well, on that note, we all should do a Jar Jar Binks impression game. You all ready?
I completely forgot how he sounds like. But really quick. I'm not going to subject myself to that.
Maybe we should.
Yeah, I'm not going to subject myself to that. We got to wait.
And Miguel was ready. He's like, I got this.
Yeah. No.
Like,
We got to wait with the Batman. We got to wait with the Batman one.
I was trying to re-download. I was like, wait, what?
Well, yeah. But to get like really nerdy with it because you guys are funny.
It would have been great. Let us know in the
Miguel,
comments below if you guys want to see that competition on the next
Lord. one. Miguel brought up the Legend, so I do read the Legend books. I love to read, and in the video games. So two of my favorite ones as far as Star Wars video games, of course, Knights of the Old Republic classic. I would have to go with Star Wars Republic Commando, but also the Force Unleashed. If we can get that in a movie or on Disney Plus, I would love to see a series about Darth Vader training
Star
Killer.
But that never happens. It never happens. Like whenever they
it became legend.
It became they made it canon, and they can make it canon now, especially with this Obi Wan. You know how many people will flock to Disney Plus if they drop that? It'd be fire.
Can I say something? Imagine this. End of the series, right? And then you finally introduce Darth Vader, right? And then last episode,
his legs get chopped off
again. Last episode of the season, the doors open. Enter my apprentice. And he sees Star Killer in the hooded thing come in with both of the lightsabers.
Nice.
I'd lose it.
I would lose my mind.
I would lose it because
I would lose my mind.
And here's the thing about now Disney Plus picking up this and expanding the universe. They are slowly bringing in, like at the end of Boba Fett, they brought in characters from the Clone Wars.
That's why they need a Republic Commando type series or movie. They need it, and I haven't seen Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Confession, I haven't seen it.
So,
I watched episode 2, made it to about 45 minutes into episode. I'm sorry, I made it into 45 minutes into episode 2, and I failed to keep going. But everyone's like, "You're a dummy. It gets incredible."
No,
Wait
it doesn't.
Till are you? Oh, you're saying it doesn't?
It doesn't.
right,
No,
Miguel,
I will
this is your
say.
segment. Tell us.
I will say. Listen, I haven't watched the finale yet, which they told me the finale was good.
Maybe you're missing it. My dad said it was the best visuals he's ever seen in anything, and I'm just like, but it's got to be some CG crazy stuff.
So, at least in my opinion, Boba Fett started off good. It started off like, you know, those series that you're like, oh, it's building up, right? So I felt that.
You have a beeper?
That's for the 45 minutes. The camera shut off after 45 minutes, so I put an alarm.
Another rookie number.
Another
rookie
rookie
number 3.
move.
I don't know what that was, but let's continue.
It starts off and you're like, okay, they're building up to something really big. And there's a lot of character development, which I like. So, especially when you're dealing in Star Wars, like lore, you know, like the Sand People, you kind of are like, oh, wow, they have like all this culture and they're like a whole civilization that was never explored in the movies. So you kind of like, you're enjoying how they're like widening into this. And then once it focuses on Boba Fett, I personally felt like the pieces, and this is just kind of like what the synopsis is of the movie, is he's now the replacement for Jabba the Hutt. He is now the mafioso, the leader of the mob, or he's like the one that's controlling everything. I felt like the episodes, or the portion of the episodes that focused on him being the kingpin, the leader, were a little underwhelming. It was a little bit like, I was like, I wouldn't respect you.
Well,
like if I owned the club, I'd be like, yo, get out, bro. I'd be like, eh.
Yeah, from what I saw, I felt like Boba Fett was like boring. He was just a boring character, and like the whole sand thing, I was just like, man, these sand guys get like their asses kicked like everywhere, right? They're just like
That's what they sound like.
That's your voice? No, we're not doing a contest with that.
Yeah, but I would say like if it was an RPG, they would be like at level 3, right? And you know, they're like just people you beat up and you continue. And then our homeboy Boba Fett was getting his butt kicked by them and learning stuff from them, which is fine, but he should have been able to like dominate them, I think, because he is a legend, you know?
Yeah.
And I felt like they made his character weak. And this is just me seeing 1 in 45 minutes of episode 2. I mean, I'm jumping back on it. You have to, but damn.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll watch it, but man, what was it that we watched that you put me on? Oh, was it you know, the different anime styles of the Star Wars?
Oh, Visions. Star Wars Visions.
That's fire.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I just finally completed it maybe like a week or so ago.
Yeah.
I know it's been out for a while. I understand, but you know, me, I got so much different anime and everything to catch up on. And when I do set aside a day of do nothing but TV, you know, I got priorities.
Well, what's good about it is that you have different teams, you know, taking care of each episode. Different artists, different directors, different producers. I don't know if it's different producers, but different directors for sure.
Yeah, studios. And stuff.
But it reminded me of have you guys ever seen the Animatrix?
Yes.
All right, so the Animatrix, like that was a phenomenal show as well. In fact, I'm wearing a Matrix shirt that my girlfriend got me. Take a look.
Yeah.
All right. But the Animatrix, you know, it was just so cool because it had like directions from Eon Flux. But like the Star Wars thing was like, you know, you saw a lot of like, there was like violence and sometimes episodes were cartoony. Mm-hmm. And it's funny that I'm saying this, but have you guys seen The Boys, the new cartoon of it? It's the same thing, different directors, different artists.
No, not the Boys.
Well,
I was thinking automatically Invincible.
No, but The Boys has this same thing as Star Wars. And remember, The Boys is basically, they can go as far as they want. You know, they're just like cancel culture. Whatever. This, they don't care about anything. Politics.
Okay, I must check this out because I'm a huge fan of The Boys.
Can I tell you guys a little funny one in this thing?
Yeah,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This one had me cracking up. I was cracking up so hard. Okay. And basically, there's this one that's like kind of like, it's got like an anime kind of animation to it. and it's about a guy, and he takes the serum that makes you into a superhero. And what happens to him when he takes the serum? His stomach starts talking to him. And the stomach's like, let me out. And he's like, oh no, I'm gonna die. And he's like, let me out, or you are gonna die. And it's something to that content. He lets it out. He has a little poo, and that little poo is alive.
Wow.
I mean, it's the boys. It's the boys. So the boys has no limits, and this becomes him and his buddy. It's like a Pikachu instead of Pikachu. It's
Poopachu.
It's a Poopachu.
You know, I got to shake your hand at that one. That was great.
That was a good one.
On the fly, too. Poopachu on the fly. That was great. That was
Anyways, I couldn't. It was so like ridiculous. I could not stop laughing. There's a lot of episodes that are just bonkers. They're super bonkers. I will say the first episode was kind of boring. It was like a homage to Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes, or Tiny Toons. But skip that one, and then the rest of them are fantastic.
Now I have a question for you guys, because there's a couple of series that are like this. You have like The Boys, you have Star Wars Visions. I think most popular now is Black Mirror on Netflix, which is essentially various episodes that create like an anthology. Mm-hmm. So do you guys enjoy the anthology? It's one episode with a premise, and it's beginning, middle, and end, and then it's over. That's it. It's a really cool concept, but that's it. It dies after the 20 minutes, 45 minutes. Or do you guys like series?
Well, first question. That word you use, what was that?
Anthology.
Can you define that word for the audience, aka me, who doesn't know what that means?
An anthology is a series of short stories.
Oh, okay. So short stories, people. So for everyone that has the IQ of me, like short stories. Got it.
Little words.
Yes. Because I was like, wait, what?
Reading Rainbow.
If you watch our pilot episode only on Patreon, you will get that joke.
Yeah, we do have a pilot episode that we were not happy about because of whatever, like backgrounds, cameras, all that stuff. Maybe we'll show it in the future. Let us know, and maybe we'll make a Patreon. You can see it. I don't know. We'll find out.
10,000 likes. We'll release it.
But whatever. Continue what you were saying.
My camera died.
Oh shit.
But no. But continue. Continue with the other one, and we'll do it. Screw it. It's live. I'm gonna switch his battery while you're talking. Go for it.
All right. Go ahead.
So my main camera died.
So your question was, how do we feel about shorts?
Yeah.
Honestly, I personally like short stories. I do enjoy series that build up their seasons like that, because behind those short stories there are messages for the audience, and those episodes can go into different conversations that you can talk about how what was the message behind it, what was the director or the writers trying to convey to the audience. So I do like that. And then also too, because of the society that we're in nowadays, the shorter the better. So the attention span of your average viewer isn't as long as it was, let's say back when I was growing up. I'm in my mid 30s now. So, things got to grab your attention quick. So going a short story approach, it does that because you have to have a strong introduction, a strong middle, and a strong conclusion. So I do prefer like short stories over like a series.
Okay. So for me personally, I don't like the anthology, and I actually don't watch a lot of these series because I feel like, for me, my imagination goes too far and I want to know answers. So like my friends would show me episodes of like Black Mirror, and they'd be like, dude, like, it's so good. It's such a cool concept. And they'd show me the episode, and within like 30 minutes, you had an entire story, and then it would end. And I'm like, but what happens after?
But that's the best part about it, because
but that frustrates me.
Yeah, but since you have such an extensive imagination, now you could take that very same imaginative thoughts. Those imaginative thoughts, and then you can share them amongst friends and stuff, and then you guys can draw your own conclusions. That's why I like movies that leave you on cliffhangers. I'm sorry, Rob. No, Eddie.
I got two names.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying to.
Let's keep it clean. I'm Robert Edward. and I'm not gonna say my last name.
Yeah.
But I like to use Eddie here.
Okay.
Robert other places. But either way, movies are like that. A lot of movies start, they end, they're done. But I feel like a lot of shows that continue to go. Luckily, like a lot of anime seems to know where it's going when they're good. But a lot of shows continue the seasons. They're like, oh, season 1, season 2, we're making a lot of money. Season 3, season 4, and then they start bullcrapping all of us because they know they're making that paper because we're watching, and then the show just becomes crap because they have no story to tell anymore. It's just like, oh, let's
Have the
make
dragon melt the throne.
yeah. It just kind of they start going directions that have nothing to do with what the show originally was, and they're just milking it. They're milking the cow, and I hate that. So I do like anthologies because it's a beginning, middle, and an end. Can you expand on that? Yes, but it's better to conclude it as opposed to stretch it. That's what I think.
And I do like how like it just brings so much more conversation too. The best example, since Eddie had brought up movies, think of Inception. So then one of the biggest arguments at the end of Inception was, well, was he dreaming? Was he not? So then you got some people who say, well, no, he was back in the real world because the little spinner top thing, he started to waver. Then you got others like, no, it didn't really waver that much because remember in the earlier scenes, in the earlier scenes, it was still like spinning and waver a little bit, but it never slowed down or whatever. So yes, the drinks,
The drip.
Yeah, so that's why I do like it because it just, the director and the writers are, hey, let the audience decide.
Yeah, and another thing that I like, this is a thing because I'm very, I like to think of myself as unbiased. I like or I don't like the fact that the story is so short. I do want there to be a more story. And I guess that in that aspect, I'm a little bit spoiled where I'm like, well, I want an entire series on this character. Don't just show me him and then end it. But another thing that I enjoy is, and I haven't seen it yet, but I do actually hope this happens, is you have series like Star Wars Visions, which is the anthology, and then hopefully they're able to grab some of these characters because these characters are in a way canon, and they're able to pluck them into series in the future where if you're a hardcore, if you're just like a casual fan, you wouldn't notice. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I see what you're saying.
If you're a casual viewer, you wouldn't even notice. It wouldn't make a difference, and you'd move on and be like, that's a cool character. But if you're a hardcore fan, you'd be like, oh my gosh, that's from episode 3 of Visions, Like that's that same character. And I think, and it's not that it's happened, but I think opening up that door for that possibility is something that I look forward to. And I think there's so many unexplored worlds and territories and even interpretations of the Force and the Star Wars galaxy that can be explored in any kind of medium. That I think that the anthology film does open those doors for.
Can I ask a question then? So first with the Star Wars Visions, I think those, and I would like your input too, Eddie. I think those short stories are designed for the casual fans. I like Star Wars. I like the visuals. The story is cool. The fight scenes are cool, but I'm not really invested in the story as like us three here. And I'm sure we all invested into the story on 3 different levels, obviously. I think those are for the casual fans. And then also, too, using your example of Black Mirror, which is a great example of it, those type of shows, to me personally, and I want both of you guys' takes on this, is not about the characters. It's about the message. That's the thing about Black Mirror. We don't care about the characters per se. We're all trying to think about what the message is behind the episode, and then that's where the conversation comes in.
Well, that's the strong point, is that it gives a message. Okay, it's not even a message that's like a good message. Sometimes sometimes it is, but it makes you think. Okay, now you can only make someone think if it's quick. Okay, so basically it's like, okay, episode 1, It's only episode 1. This is the message. Think about it. But when you do something that's like prolonged, super long, like a Game of Thrones, this is the message, and we're going to extend it all the way to the last season. And by the time we get to the last season, everyone's going to hate it, forget about it, and the message will not be evoked.
I think like a perfect example of that is like the CW series. You know, like Arrow, Flash kind of stuff.
Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah.
Legends of Tomorrow. Those I feel like they went really, really long.
I enjoyed the shows, but you know what though? To be honest, that is a topic that we can really, really get deep into. And, you know, we're sitting up here talking about prolonging things, so we don't want to prolong this first episode too far, and then people lose interest because we're, you know, going down the rabbit hole of the CW.
And I think we've probably recorded like an hour and a half to 2 hours of audio here, but hopefully this is a little cleaner and it's a little edited better, I think, hopefully. And that's all thanks to our videographer and video editor, Eddie Lovecraft.
Eddie.
So Eddie is like, I call him the magician because he just like, he grabs all of this, and guys, we've messed up like 38,000 times throughout this entire thing, and he'll probably make this seem or look very smooth. And speaking,
and the very first thing that comes to mind is him in his Batman voice. Look at your right camera.
look at the camera.
You messed up.
Speaking to the mic.
Action.
So Eddie, speaking of videography, editing, and all these different projects, what are you working on?
Well, we recently released something that's pretty fun. It's called Cosplay My Way. I do this with my girlfriend. It's basically a show that depicts history of comic book characters. Is usually a female because my girlfriend cosplays, and she's ElecTrish. She does a phenomenal job. We've done episodes like Typhoid Mary, like who is Typhoid Mary? And she is like a villain in the Daredevil universe who has multi-personalities. We've done Livewire, which is another DC character. So we definitely have hit on like points of like characters who are almost like unknown. But this latest one is Mary Jane and Black Cat. Okay, so I do want to show you all a promo really quick, and then we can talk about it a little bit, and then maybe we can move on to the conclusion.
Absolutely.
Of this episode.
You guys want to do Geek Vision? Let's do a Geek Vision of that clip.
All right, ready?
Oh,
There's
nice.
good old ElecTrish.
I like that transition.
I hope you guys read comics.
Yes.
A little behind the scenes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a really cool Black Cat.
And this is the Black Cat, who I will say I was not 100% familiar with. I know Black Cat, but I don't know her history. But in this episode, you'll get to know a lot more about her. Like these things.
One thing I do like about your girl, she really knows how to really play with the camera.
Yeah.
And you can even tell in this promo trailer here.
And I think one of the things that I like about this series is you're getting these characters and you're like deep diving into them, like psychoanalyzing them, kind of going into like facts about them. So it's kind of like these characters that either you know of because they were in a video game or in a series, or maybe you don't even know about them. But
I've learned a lot more from characters, and some characters like Typhoid Mary I'm not too familiar with, and we have an episode that deep dives into Typhoid Mary, a multi-personality, and it was I don't know, it's pretty crazy. It's an episode that we did, and like Lady Death, and I've always known as Lady Death as like, you know, like a gothic looking kind of person, and she looks very neat. She's gothic as hell, but I really did not know her history, you know, but because we have to do these shows, we do the history on them and we dive deep into it. So if y'all are into, you know, deep diving into comic books, please watch the show. It's called Cosplay My Way. You can watch it on our show, that Not So Serious, on the YouTube, but you can also go to cosplaymyway.com and you can see the videos there as well. Other than that, I guess a fun story is that we did we recreated a cover of J. Scott Campbell. J. Scott Campbell is a guy that did famous artwork of Mary Jane on a couch where Spider-Man is through the window. and people started ripping him, trying to cancel him because he drew a woman a way that you can't draw her. She does not do those kind of it's impossible to get her leg that high or whatever it is. Except other cosplayers recreated those photos. Even me and ElecTrish recreated that photo, and it shows that no, he's basically doing the anatomy right. So why cancel people that can do the exact same pose? So J. Scott Campbell, you're awesome, and the best part is that he shared our promo video of the cover that we did of his comic book. So it's on his Facebook page.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Congrats.
And again, that speaks to like how you guys in a promo video, you can tell you are having fun with it. It's super easy to see, so I'm looking forward to checking it out.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot, J. Scott Campbell, and we love your art and cancel culture. They ain't got nothing on you.
That's a whole nother episode there talking about cancel culture, man. We could talk like another 3 hours about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any other projects you're working on, Eddie?
Other than that, me and Jim Dexter, we're going to be going to SpaceCon. We're filming that event. They've hired us to film, edit, pictures, all that fun stuff. So come say hi. We would be glad to take photos of your awesome cosplays and your pearly whites. What about you guys?
Well, actually, we were on the wait list for SpaceCon, and we got an email. I got the booth, so we'll be there vending as well, bringing the socks, bringing the drip. I know that's in June, but more recently, in March, next weekend, or what is the third weekend of March, we'll be at PolyCon, which is at Florida Polytechnical University. I hope I'm saying that correct. First of its kind. No, well, not first of its kind. First time we go to an event like this at a university. And we like to support all kinds of smaller events as well as bigger events, because we feel that no matter the size, we're helping support the local business and the local community. And then the fourth weekend will also be at Fort Lauderdale Comic-Con, which is at the Embassy Hilton in Fort Lauderdale. So we have those two for March, and then our April's kind of open. We have a couple events we're trying to iron out, but let's see where we go.
Speaking of, and I know for the one that's coming up this weekend, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so you guys will catch Miguel there. I will be taking a little break, be hanging out with my cute, adorable daughter for spring break. So that'll be fun. But I will be at, thank you, gentlemen. I will be at the Fort Lauderdale con next Sunday. And we don't have too much going on in April, but we do have something that we're going to be working on in April. I know I'm kind of surprising you with this, Miguel, but we can talk about what we got going outside of the con.
Let's hear it.
Oh, you want? Oh, okay. So
Let's hear it. Surprise me.
So really quick. So one thing we are going to be doing in April, since we will have a little bit more time, since we don't have too many events going on in April, is we will be working on our online shop. So that way, people will be able to have access to our many different styles of socks outside of the con. We've heard from various. I don't want to even say customers, like fans and supporters. Yes, that's a better word. Supporters of us, like, hey, guys, online. So we heard you guys, and we will be working on our online shop in April. And then we have something else coming along, but we're going to keep that as a surprise because, we still getting that off the ground for all of our geeky athletes out there.
Ooh, little preview, geeky athletes.
Oh, I think I know, but I will leave that as a mystery for now.
Stay tuned to our next episodes, and you'll be able to hear more about that. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed the content of this episode, like, subscribe, comment, and make sure to follow us on our socials. We're the Geeky Robots
Podcast.
Like how you completed that. That was great. All
right. So thanks for watching. This is the first episode. Of course, the episode is probably going to turn into something, a beast of something more. But for now, this is the end. And thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.
Stay geeky.